Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you for joining me in Way Back Wednesday. Every week on a Wednesday I go back and revisit an old project and then I modernise it and I make it with current papers or different decorations. And the project I'm making is a mini hand-cut milk carton. And I first made this in Celebration 2014, so you can see I've got beautiful Celebration papers there. And if I remember rightly, the baker's twine was free as well, and the tiny little flowers have since retired. Now I made this because at the time we had a milk carton die, and I'm not really one for using dies hugely often. I'm not sure that there's a deep-rooted reason for that, I just don't. So I'm just trying to flip this back because I need to follow the measurements. This is what I do every week. I follow the measurements that you would have been following. So I'm going to show you how to make this. Now I can't remember what the finished dimensions of this are, just under 2 inches if I remember rightly. So okay, so I will show you how to make it. Now you need a piece of cardstock that measures, I can't remember what it measures, 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. So you can get 2 of these from a sheet of cardstock. Now my original ones, it was all about the DSP, and this time I am using DSP. I'm not stamping or anything, and I wanted to show off the background stacks. Now I absolutely love these. This is Sahara Sand, but the one that I've got going with this, and this is Smoky Slate paper. This isn't the Smoky Slate DSP, this is the metallic one, because there isn't a white and there isn't a vanilla, but instead we've got gold and we've got Scylla? We haven't got Scylla at all, we've got silver, and I think you can catch the shine, and it is lovely. So I wanted to show it off and I wanted to have an opportunity to do that, but I'm going to jazz it up with a colour, and I went with Melamambo on this one. I'm going to jazz it up with a different one. So, okay, sorry, yes, 2 from 1 sheet of cardstock, 8 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is 21 by 14 centimetres. And on the long side, we're going to score it at 1 7/8 of an inch, 3 3/4, 5 5/8, and 7 1/2 inches, which in metric is 5, 10, 15 and 20. Then turn it round, and on the short side we're going to score it at 1 7/8 of an inch, 3 3/4 of an inch, and then flip it over and score it at 5 inches. And that will give you this nice sharp corner here, this sort of fold there. So in metric, that's 5, 10, turn it over, and at 13. Okay, let me move that out of the way. And fold and burnish all these school lines. I've put my bone folder away. Dear. So this first one, which we've scored in the wrong direction, or the opposite direction, fold that down, and then the others just fold as you normally would. So keep folding those. Okay, so the bit to remove, you've got this thin skinny bit at the top, bigger bit at the bottom, and a little rectangle. Get rid of that one. That's the only bit to cut away, and then just cut straight up these score lines. Easy peasy, and I'm just going to mitre that slightly as well. And then my DSP panels, my phone has turned itself off, they measure 1 3/4 of an inch square or 4 1/2 centimetres square. So very easy. I love it, the pattern. I do really like this, the DSP background stacks. We've got spots and words, sort of a beautiful script. So it's spots one side, script the other, and then obviously this one is flowers one side, stripes the other, and really pretty, very pretty. So that's going to fit in there. Now it is a very small border round when you're working in Imperial, so take a few extra seconds to make sure it lines up okay. There we go. So adhesive down here, and then fold over. That's the back of the box, so you fold in your 2 sides and the back. Run some adhesive on this part and close it up. Okay, so that's now the front, so we're just going to push in at the sides and squish to make our milk carton top. I'm just going to use my fingernail just to help those creases a bit more. And that one and that one. And because we did our score line here in the opposite direction, you get a much nicer close. Now on my first one I used one of our larger pegs. This one, because I'm going with silver, I have got out the silver mini pegs. I don't know if it's going to be right. I don't know that it's going to hold it, to be honest. Oh yes it does. There we go. Silver one. Is that the front? That's the front. Then just a little bit of decoration, and I've got our silver baker's twine. And when I did my linen thread one there, I actually looped it. That's 3 lengths of it in one go, but I think I can probably, I think one is enough on this one because it is thicker. There we go. Oh look, I cut off far too much. And then I'm going to get a mini glue dot, but these are bigger than the knot, so I'm just going to fold it in half and then pop it up there. And again, this is reminiscent of my original one, and I used the old itty bitty, I think they were called itty bitty shapes, punch pack to get the little flowers. Now our itty bitty accent I think is going to be too big. Well, it's definitely too big, but in the build a tree punch, if you can see, there's a little flower just down there. There's an apple, a raindrop, and a little bird, as well as the top of the tree and the tree trunk. But that little flower is super cute. So with some Bermuda Bay, oh, I'm going to punch out 3 flowers. And you can elevate these in exactly the same way as I do other flowers. So you take the back of your paper piercer, squish it in the middle, and I went with pearls last time, but I'm going to go with the rhinestones and just take the tiniest ones into the middle. They're so sweet, these flowers, aren't they? Too cute. And if you're wondering why I've just swapped my paper piercers, I have 3 of them. And I have one of them that I stuffed down the end of my glue. You can see it's a bit gummy there with my glue pot, so it's all got stuck up. But this is the one that I like to pick up with. Okay, this little factoid for you. Okay, mini glue dot on the back, and just scatter them. And like I said, because this is all about the paper, I didn't want to do any stamping, and I just wanted to make a simplistic project and show off that stunning designer series paper that's a super bargain as well. It's 20 for goodness knows how many sheets. I can't even tell you how many sheets you get with a huge 12 by 12 sheets. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to speak to you very soon. Bye.